pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, I can't see around the camera. Here.
Oh, whose camera is that?
That's fine. There was no way to see back there. That's
I
why
make a motion that we postpone the meeting until we have some housekeeping taken care of and the camera is moved. It is against the policy. Are you going to sign this?
There wasn't room in the back when we came in, so.
Thank you.
as you can see, because of the harassment that I've been placed under, my hands are shaking. So unfortunately, I cannot understand this right now. I actually wouldn't appreciate it if I did it. No. So I'll make a motion for postponement.
No,
I'll second
For
that.
a break?
we've got it figured out.
You can get started.
We're going to start.
We did say the Pledge of Allegiance and we're brought to order at 7:34. So Mr. Zoran is making a motion to take a break, 5-minute break.
For what?
And Mr. Chartier second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Me? We're going to call the meeting back to order.
Madam Supervisor, I'd like to restart the meeting professionally this time, now that the room is arranged properly.
We're going to call the meeting back to order. Lori, please do roll call for attendance.
Michael.
Here.
Sandy. Here. Kelly.
Here.
Ken.
Here.
Lori here.
Need a motion to approve the agenda as written. I would like to add all the minutes under consent agenda. Anybody else?
There's a change that needs to be made to the minutes.
That's on the consent agenda.
Okay.
How would you approve the agenda?
Need a second,
I'll
please?
second.
Well, hold on a second. I have something I need to add here. Before, if this is not what Kelly said the first time. the purchase of a laptop for the purchase, or for the use of Freedom of Information Act for everyone's benefit. I have the advertisement for everyone to look at. It's an item that costs $379.
And why wasn't that given to me last Tuesday when the deadline for agenda items was?
Because if you look at the Cottrellville Township website, it actually has the incorrect date for today's meeting.
But you as a trustee know when the meeting is. It is the second Wednesday of every month. So you knew that last Tuesday at noon was the cutoff date for agenda items.
And when I wrote to you in the email, I also pointed out that your policy of 8 days cannot apply to a weekly ad that comes out every 7 days.
Our
You had specifically instructed me to present this at the meeting.
with regard to an advertised price, that's unrealistic to try and present to this board because today is Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday. None of us have time to go run out the next day to purchase something, and we are closed Friday, so there goes your advertised price. What you need to do is give to the board the normal price, and if we find it on sale somewhere, all the better.
That was what I attempted to do last month. I attempted to do exactly the same thing that Kelly Fiscelli-Lisco did when she purchased her laptop. However, I was not allowed to do that.
She gave us information, she gave us the flyer, and she gave us a price. You've given me nothing.
All right, well, look, I'm not going to sink the level of my competition. I'm going to forget the laptop for the benefit of the people.
I don't know if I'm supposed to take issue with that or not. It sounded very high schoolish.
I'm not willing to argue. I can see from the way that things were set up in the back, this is nothing but attempting me to get upset. Mr. Joe Rochon's acting like a child as usual. So
The tables, the chairs have not been moved at all. You
I have it on video.
placed your camera in front of our residents, obstructing his view from the meeting, which is also a hazard unmanned. It's against our rules of engagement, so that's that.
I'll pass on the laptop for everyone's benefit.
All right, Ken, so are you still making a motion to approve the agenda?
Ken made the motion, I seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda. I would like to add approval to attend the MTA conference in January.
Second.
You're asking to add that for all the board members?
Or whoever would like to attend it. And the reason, even though the early bird cutoff date is December, the housing opens up on Monday. And so to try to get the cheapest rate, you gotta book them fast.
I also want to add, to go to the broadband conference next week. My name for that?
So add your name with the supervisors on the 4A.
Yes.
I'll second that as well.
Okay, so I need a let me know.
So we will add under 4C, the MTA conference. Okay, I'll make a motion to, Michael, did you have a problem with the minutes?
Yes.
All right, we-
Somehow or another, it is listed as signs associated with fast horses. I don't have any sort of problem associated with fast horses. That's not what the two families on Broadridge were saying. They simply have a problem very similar to deer being out in the middle of the road.
What's the problem with the minutes is what we're asking.
It's recorded as fast horses. It's just horses in general.
Okay, so horses on Broadridge, you want us to take out things.
But if you listen to the recording, it was fast horses on Broadridge was what was added to the agenda. I can't take it off because you now say that it's a different thing. If you listen to the recording, it says fast horses on Broadridge. For 2 months, it's been that way.
Well, for the September 11th minutes, I'm just pointing out that I want to make sure that when that issue is addressed.
Okay, but with regards to the minutes, then you don't want to make any changes?
That's what it officially says. I'm just pointing out that it needs to be known.
So,
Well, when it comes up again on the agenda and you give us the information, then you can put in there that it's horses or sign for horses on Broadridge.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted everything to be in order.
Okay,
okay, so motion to approve
I'll
the
make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
second. Maybe second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Open session for public with regards to any agenda items only? No. We'll move on to unfinished business, which there isn't any. On to new business. Approval of the hardship ordinance policy regarding unpaid fire authority bills. What happened was, back sometime when we first took office, we had agreed that Joe or myself, or was it just you? We would together decide when somebody came to us and they couldn't pay for the cost of when the fire authority had gone out there, if there was a hardship case and if we would waive their cost. We did it, but we don't feel, we understand that people have hardships, but we don't feel comfortable with actually it having to be us to decide, be it that somebody could say, oh, well, you like them better than me and you didn't do this or whatnot. So we worked with Acumen and we came up with a hardship policy. And basically what it is a policy that has guidelines. It has a paragraph to determine the financial needs, the criteria that's in consideration for financial hardship, the national poverty levels taken into consideration, and then there's a confidential financial worksheet. So if the board accepts this, then from now on, every time somebody they want to say they have a financial hardship, they will have to fill out this form. And it's all an equation. It's not us doing it. This is the policy for everybody. So we think that's fair for all the residents. So,
I have a question. With regard to this policy, I would like to see a policy before us, before we vote on it, that specifically relates to fires and what we're talking about. This is medical. This has to do with deductibles and co-insurance and out-of-pocket and I don't feel right voting on a policy when it's not even written for
well, this is with regards, what are you talking about, in the actual
the
policy?
sample financial hardship policy that he gave us. This has to do with Medicare and Medicaid. And we could incorporate
I don't see where you see the minutes.
it's the very first page. Number 2 on the policies.
We can, where else did you have a problem with
Yeah.
that? You could just take out the A.
It's this one. Here, yes.
No, not that, that's the, here, she's talking about. All right, well, we could just delete that, I think that's what she's talking about.
Well, the whole first page is about medical, and I,
Why don't we table this and get it corrected
Okay.
before we all vote on this? Because it does seem to be a little bit confusing between just medical and or fire.
I'll make a
Because
motion.
this doesn't bring up fire, it's only bringing up medical.
Well, we could do that, we could critique it when we're at the,
and
because, you know, I misread it as in, that's their bills. That's how I was looking at it. Like not, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I was
that
reading
we're
it trying
taking
to-
into consideration their medical bills that they have as part of their income, like they have to pay medical bills.
Right.
So that's why it's a hardship, is look at all my expenses on medical bills. That's how I was reading it.
perhaps Chief Slankster, I'm sorry, did I just ruin your name?
That's all right.
If we come up with something, can you look at it and let us know if that's?
Kelly's been working with Acumen. Just to clarify, the authority, or actually the township board is approved to go with Acumen as far as the fire authority for every call. 100% of the calls that we respond and our response into Cottrellville is supposed to be billed. The only ones that the insurance companies do not pick up is for medicals, because we are a non-transporting agency.
And then we'll work on changing some of the wording and that. That's the way I was doing it. Okay, so you want to make a motion to table it for whenever, next month? So that we can clarify it and.
Sure, I'll make a motion to table this to get the proper wording on the policy
Second.
until next month. Or until we get the proper wording. Second, Michael?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval for the cancellation of services for Acumen. Do you want to let them know our process?
If we respond out to Cottrellville Township for any type of call, myself, makes a bill out for whatever we bring. If we bring a rescue truck, or we bring an engine and power, and manpower. It all is on a pay or a different price scale. What I do is I make a bill out, I send it to Acumed, which is down in the road somewhere.
Right.
What they do is they take my information, they put it on their own bill. They send it back to me, or they send it to the resident, whoever needed the services. If they pay it, they send the check to me. We cash it at the fire authority. What the fire authority does is then we have to make a check out for 10% and send it back to that company for their, put it onto a different piece of paper and send it to the resident. And then the money that we do receive minus 10% comes back to the township for the fire authority budget. The fire department doesn't actually receive any of the money. It goes directly to the township into their savings account.
So we decided to
Save the 10%.
save the
Is what we're trying to
10%.
do.
But didn't we just talk about working with Acumen to set up this hardship case?
Mhm.
So we just worked with them to set it up. Now we're going to eliminate them.
To save the township,
To save-
to get our 10%.
What does that 10% add up to at the end of the year? How much in dollars?
Well, last year you guys collected over $14,000, so $1,400 that township could save instead of giving it to somebody that just transposes my bill onto another bill and sends it to whoever uses the service.
Well, there's got to be something that they do other than just billing.
No,
They don't. They do not pursue any unpaid bills or nothing.
You?
No. That's up to you guys.
That's what we're looking into is, when I talked at the last meeting about looking into a collection agency or not, and looking to see if we can put the unpaid bills. Right now, we have $4,500 right now out. of
How long has
unpaid bills.
Acumen been doing the billing?
For at least
Marine City.
3 years. The only one that uses Acumed is Cottrellville Township, out of China, East China, and Marine City. East China Township, they bill their residents personally after the second time we go to that residence per year. If we go there twice, the second time they get charged. And if they don't pay, it goes on to their taxes, I believe.
So if we agree to this, you'll be billing them?
I will be billing you.
And then
You
we-
guys will be putting it onto a different bill, sending it to
Can we
whoever.
send out 3 or 4?
Well, we would still call it the same way they do it, but now that's what we have to look into is,
What
do we want to
department
go with
takes
the
us over?
collection agency? Do we want to look into a collection agency? That's the next step after we figure out this.
And I believe Acumed tries 3 times to send it
Yes,
out.
they tried 3 times and then they write it up.
Before we totally write them off, we need to find out the process.
The process for getting rid of Acumen?
No, find out the
Oh,
process
right,
on
what we can do
billing
that,
and
right.
what we can do legally to get the money and
That's what we're
and look
looking into.
into if we need an ordinance that states.
Right,
rules
that's a
over
whole
the
different,
taxes.
different area.
I
as
noticed
far
on
as
the
getting
face
rid
of the agreement that this started January 1st of 2011, not August 1st of 2010, so we still have
They have a 60-day, you can write 60 days. From a
60 days of
60-day
January
notice.
1st.
Can we have them come
No, you
up
can write
and,
on this, notice, after if we vote. You can
I'm
write
just
and
saying
say
that
you're
gives
gonna
us time
cancel.
to, that
Exactly,
gives us time
to see if we're gonna do a collection agency and come up with
find
our
out the
policy.
information.
And basically what we're working on was just to still give the residents, okay, here's 3 times that we asked you, or even we can even come up with a payment plan, because sometimes it's hard you know, kind of like how we do with the water. So that's what we can do after, you know, so that gives us 60 days to come up with something. But it's better than nothing, they don't do nothing.
I think to get rid of the acronym, you just don't bill them, you just don't send them the bill.
Exactly.
Because we don't do it for Chinese, China, or Marine City. And they all agreed to join this Acumax group.
And there's no monthly
There's no
payment that we
monthly,
make to
no.
them, it's just the 10%
Just
of
whatever they
what
collect, is
collect.
10% goes back to them for, put it on a piece of paper.
Can we at least ask them to come up here and give us an explanation of what it is that they do, other than just doing the bill?
That's all they do, that's what we're telling you, they don't do
Well,
anything.
I know that's what you're saying that they do. Can you see
But
if
you
that's
had
what they
that
say
for a
we're
week, you
gonna
could
do?
have asked them that a week. But yeah, you want to table?
I move with table.
Well, I think we'd be prudent to table it at this point until we get all our ducks in a row and get the procedure of how we bill it, how many times we bill it, and get that ordinance or resolution, whatever it is we need, where it can roll over into the taxes like the
So
law.
how we're going to do it, not Acumax.
Right, yeah.
Come up with
To
our-
look at it that way, and then maybe next month vote on getting rid of them, or if we find that it's too burdensome or cumbersome for us, to take it over, because there's more to it than what we thought. So table it until next month, and we'll,
Yeah, and then that gives me time to
Contact them.
get, I've been having to use them. That gives us time to call the question agency too, so
right,
that they
I
change.
know, get more
And
information
then,
as to
because
how
I
we
don't
want
want
to
to
go.
go, the rather, you know what I mean, to collection agency.
Right.
So I'd rather do it something a little more private or something that doesn't go in a court report.
Right,
So that's what I was trying to find, something
right,
that.
and then we can also look at how
And
the last policy, the hardship policy can fit into that. All right, I'll make a motion to table the cancellation of services with Acumed until November's meeting.
Second.
November.
So we can get more information.
Michael, you second it?
That's correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, approve cancellation of services with Ira Township Fire Department to increase coverage by Marine City Fire Authority.
I have a question with that one.
We also have the chiefs here again to help with this.
Well-
Both chiefs?
Please, yep, not Ira, just Marine City.
Oh,
I have a question with that. From reading the agreement, it says that we pay $3,654 per year as kind of a holding fee. They're going to sit by and be on hold for us. If we need them, they'll come, and that's the fee. And then it says plus an additional $150 per run fee billed quarterly. But I don't see anywhere else where they bill us anything other than that $150 per run. But if you look at the Acumed, sorry, Chief Lancaster, if you look at the Acumed thing, it shows that Marine City is 500, the first hour for the fire engine is $535. Fire engine additional hours is 350 hours. With IRA, is it 150 for the whole time they're there, or is it, because it says per run? Or are we paying more than 150 per run? But it's just not kind of pointed out in that contract.
We have, as far as from what I've seen, it's $150 per run, but I haven't seen any other ones. Do you know if they do it, if they charge the manpower too? Because when I looked at the receipt.
That is just a billing for Acumen, because we don't actually bill the township. That was a predetermined amount done by the fire authority board, what they wanted to charge for engine or a water tender. It was all predetermined and laid out by the fire authority.
Well, we're talking about the IRA right now, and we're just trying to
Right,
figure out if it's
to-
150 per run, or are we actually also charged more somewhat for something else? So if, you know, if it's not your contract.
You're
then it's
not charged $535, the resident is.
Right,
And the way, where they got that price from is they went to Ira Township, Clay Township, and I believe Kimball Township Fire Authority, and that's what they all charge if they were charging an insurance company.
Okay, so,
So if you were in an accident in Clay Township, and you're not a resident of Clay Township, you will get a bill for $535 plus their EMS or whatever it is. And that's exactly what we're doing with AccuMed.
okay, so with the IRA contract then, it's not just fire, it's for the EMS, that
Yes.
150 per run?
And if Ira is doing the AccuMed, they should be at $535 or $200 and whatever for a medical.
So pretty much then,
And
I really don't expect you to know what our contract says, but,
and if they are covering part of Cottrellville Township, they should be charging AccuMed because as a lifelong resident of the township, why, if a rescue comes to my residence, why should I be charged and somebody in that area not be charged?
right.
It's really not fair.
When it
So-
comes to the part of the fire authority though, what, is there an average cost per fire that the township pays, or how much does the township pay the emergency fire department yearly for all their runs?
I believe their budget is $90,000.
We budgeted 94,000 this year.
But how much would it be if you did a per run, just like Ira is saying theirs is? Of
I
3,600.
haven't figured it out, I don't know.
So
So it means it's a possibility that Ira could be cheaper for fire protection in Marine City?
Well, I don't know, because you're saying the $535, if they were charging that, that's where that $535 comes from, that's from AccuMed. That's from taking prices from Ira, Clay Township, and I believe it was Kimball Township, on their billing processes. That was the average of what it costs per hour per engine.
But doesn't this same paperwork say that they charge us $650 for a fire?
No, that's what they charge just in case.
yearly to be
Just to be
on call,
part of it.
To be on call.
And then their rate for the trucks are the same as yours?
Yes, pretty close. I mean, that's where the Fire Authority Board got their information from.
So above and beyond the 150, the 150 is being billed to the township, and then they bill the person who had the fire or the emergency a different amount other than this. So the 150 isn't borne onto the resident, it's borne onto the township as a whole.
Correct.
Okay.
On top of the 3,700 that we paid just in case.
And then the resident has to pay all those other.
Correct.
Now, that 90,000, do we pay them a fee such as that 90,000 for Ira?
The 94 is for the fire authority, the 3,700 that they have in the contract right here. That's what we allocated for Ira. Actually, I think we did 30.
But on the 94,000, does any of that go to Ira?
No, that's on the city budget.
That dollar amount was calculated, they take our total budget, divided by the number of calls, and then allot each community how many calls they had the previous year, and then they pay that percentage. As, like, you're our second largest provider, where we provide the second largest amount of calls next to the city. The city's got 54% of our budget, they pay 54% of the budget. You guys are at 24,
21 or 24.
and then China, and then East China. East China.
So your total budget is roughly $450,000 a year?
411.
Okay. And then what do we pay towards Ira's budget?
That's we pay Ira $3,654.
Plus 150
Plus
per call.
150 per call. But that's just if
Some of the
there's
numbers still aren't making sense here. I'm not sure exactly where or how.
Let me explain it this way.
How many runs did we have last year total?
In that area, you're
No,
just,
in Cottrellville. Fire.
I would be guessing 200 and something. I don't know offhand.
but you're averaging about 10 runs in that area per year. Fairly small area.
So how are we billed by you?
And then
Do we have a per
also-
run?
I'm sorry.
Do we have a per run with
No.
Marine City, or is it?
Twice a year
from
you
that?
get twice a year you get a bill for $45,000.
Okay.
To have ownership in the fire department.
Okay.
You guys tell us what to buy and what we can buy. They're quarter owner of the fire department.
And then also with the, do you want to explain the deal with the dispatching? Why it'd be beneficial for,
Right now, you guys are dispatched out of central dispatch from, because they're our service provider. I already switched over and they are dispatched out of what's called Station 20, which is Clay Township Police. They have a single person dispatcher. And then we're running out of central dispatch, which has got a 6 to 8 person staff. So since they've switched, they went to police with Clay Township, they also switched dispatch center. So there can be a slight delay if there's a call in that area, if it's sent to, if it goes up to central, they may have to call back to Station 20 to then have them dispatch. I talked to Tim Kinder yesterday, the administrator for central dispatch, and he says most of the calls now are cell, so it's going to go to the closest dispatch center, depending on which face of the tower it bounces off of. So there's potential for a delay because of them going to Clay Township, but right
There's
now,
also that same potential that they could get it just as quick.
Yep.
Well, need to do this. I move that we table this until we can talk to Ivor Township also,
Second.
in addition to Marine City.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you guys for coming, appreciate it. Approval to increase lighting charges to Cherry Beach residents in order to cover the cost of what the township is being billed. Or you probably have a better handle on explaining this than that. Basically, the gist is we're getting a $500 roughly a month lighting bill, and Cherry Beach is only being billed $115. And we want to make sure that the township, that the other taxpayers aren't covering for their lighting. We think that they should.
We were searching for the contract and
We found a 1964 contract, so we were trying to get a hold of them to see what the agreement was, and then we found one 1977 that said the 75% and the 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
So as far as we know, that's the newest updated contract, but then we decided today to get a hold of somebody from the association or call Mr. Swain or somebody to see if they have a more updated as to why the township is covering some of their costs for their electrical. So I would like to make a motion to table that
Second.
until we get a hold of somebody, just to make sure that there's not,
We need to
some
find out if there's
contract that's not
contract.
Just to note, I didn't get either the contract from the 60s or the 70s in my packet.
Nobody did.
Oh,
We found
just
that today.
That's why we said we wanna,
Is there an association or something for Cherry Beach that kind of heads up all that? I mean, you don't have to talk to all the residents, is there an organization, a head person that?
that's what we're gonna try to find out. Just to make sure that we don't. Mike, will you second that?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor of tabling so we get more information?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of Plant Moran to assist the treasurer in reconciliation procedures.
Maybe table it now?
I'll make a
I
motion.
actually thought that one had pretty good information. I think it could be an excellent idea for you to go get the training. So
They'll
It's
come
not
out,
for
and
training.
the good thing is they'll actually come right here. And it won't be long term, it'll be short term, hopefully maybe 2 or 3 days. And they're willing to do that.
Do you have a rough estimate on about how much or how many hours, just a rough idea, a ceiling that we can put on the price tag?
Well, the price is on here is $120 an hour.
Mine says 150.
Mine says 120.
I could have swore I saw 150 is what I said.
Mine says 120.
Yep, okay.
So do you think it's going to be like a couple days?
I'm
Like,
thinking like 2 days.
so-
How
8
far,
hour days,
And then
4
if I
hour
could,
days.
maybe if I need them again, like in a couple weeks after, I mean,
Yeah.
8-hour days, probably.
Should have been about $1,800. Is it something we really need?
Yes. I believe so.
our auditors believe so too.
Well, the problem is our auditors now don't know the program very
Right.
well. And this company does, and we need to get that.
And the auditors want you to do it still the old-fashioned way, and not using our computer system that we're paying money to use to make sure that it's done.
So you sort of could say, in a sense, although it is costing money to start, it could save money.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
In time. And they're probably, I'm more than that more accurate. Okay, anybody else have any discussion? Can I get a motion to approve Plant Moran to assist the treasurer?
Oh,
I'll make a motion to approve them.
can we put a ceiling on that amount?
How many days did you think?
We can always come back and approve more, but I think it's
Right.
for the auditors.
It's 1,800, the limit is.
Well, it would came out to
3 days,
1920.
how about 3 days? Is that good?
3 days. $2,880.
I'll try to learn fast.
Learn it correctly.
They'll come back.
Did we get a second? Is there a second?
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, supervisor's report.
Hold on.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, waterfront update. All the logs have been cleared up of the waterfront property. We got a lot of phone calls. That was a snafu. The person that is buying the property, well, next door, that's the caretaker of the property, he had bought lumber from a construction company. Well, he had just bought wood. Fortunately, he had been working a long time, and the company dumped everything, the big stumps, and there were stumps in case you didn't see them, that were just, it was a mess, it was a mess. And they tried contacting them, and the construction company did not return calls. But then we had the sheriff's department kind of go over and let them know that that might be considered illegal dumping, so they might want to get it out of there. So Don Waite and Sam, you know, I appreciate their efforts in solving the problem in a timely fashion. And the DNR also sent a letter requesting a draft for the closing package, in which we hope to have completed by November. And then we hope to close within 60 days after it's completed and submitted, in which then the DNR will put the money in, the grant money in escrow. And the St. Clair Parks and Rec is aware, and they're just waiting to deposit the money at the same time the DNR does. So the final numbers as to what the county's gonna give us, we'll get that as we get the closing package together, because I want to just give everybody accurate and make sure that it's all right. So working on that. We had our annual audit meeting on September 26th. We didn't print copies of the audit because there's a lot of paper and we didn't feel that would be cost effective, but you can go on the Michigan Treasurers, right, Sandy?
Let me go look that up.
We'll get the website, call the township.
Don, do you know what website?
Yes, it's the Department of Treasury website.
Yeah.
And anybody wants to print out the 51 pages or so. It takes a lot of ink cartridges.
They can also come to the office.
And you can come to the office and you can look at it with their report was on the internal control and their communication letter. Lori, did you have anything that you wanted to share with regards to the audit?
No. I was rather pleased with the audit.
I just have one question about that. Why couldn't the auditors come to a meeting like this where, in front of such a large crowd? Why was it a special meeting where approximately 18 hours of notice was given and the people were not aware of what was going on?
Lori, do you want to?
18 hours of notice is a misnomer. It was at least a week's notice, and you can call up the auditors and ask them.
I know on
They
the
gave
door.
us a time. They have a business, and they are doing audits because the fiscal year is ending for a lot of people. So,
When I made a reference to 18 hours, I was actually talking about online. I know that 18 hours is the minimum amount, but it would have been nice if the same amount of notice would have been presented online as on the door to the building. But that was just my thought.
I don't have access to change.
Did you have, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have access to change the website, and I don't go to the website, so it doesn't, it kind of slips my mind.
I've been in a lot of meetings for trying to improve our budget, so I got to the website as soon as I could. Did you have any, so you're set, you like the way the audit went and the report and everything?
Yeah.
What about you, Ken?
Yeah, they brought up a few good points that I think that everybody's gonna pay attention to and work on.
Change the way we do it.
Change the way that we do it, one day in water, a couple other things. But I thought other than that, everything sounded like it went pretty good. They had some good ideas, but they have us go with.
Michael, did you have any thing that you liked about the, oh, no, no. Did you read the audit?
I don't have that document here.
Oh, I'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Remind me, and I'll give you a copy.
All right.
Michael was absent at the audit meeting. I don't know why he was absent, but Sandy was absent as well. She was sick as well as her daughter. Did you have any, you read this and went over it? Did you have
I
any?
already tried to do it.
And how did you feel about that? And I just would like to say that we have discussed some of the ways that we're gonna really focus on making sure that we do the reconciliations in a more timely fashion, as well as finding out, we're really working diligently to find out where our water loss is. It's a work in progress. We have it right now with Don. We're setting up meetings with him to figure out, we're setting up meetings with our contracts with various water departments to make sure that we're billing the residents for what the services is. And then Don also gave me, there was kind of, or TK, I don't want to be familiar with the sewage problem that we're having at Shangri-La that they fixed. And Don said that that would make a big difference in finding the lost water. Are you familiar with that? Because I don't have my note at this time.
That's what in the audit report.
But we can bring that up again at the next meeting if you
We're
want.
still kind of researching different.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so at the time, Shangri-La, we were shipping, the amount of drinking water that we're shipping them, we're getting twice that amount back in sewer water. And that they changed it, and they made some adjustments, and they started charging Shangri-La. Before, Shangri-La wasn't getting charged for the extra amount of water that we were getting back, that we had to pay for. So now they're being charged for that. So hopefully that will help us. And then also, there's a big issue at the waterfront property, right, TK? That we're losing a lot of water down there. So as soon as we get the ball rolling with the closing package, that's one of the first things we're gonna do is cap off that water down at the waterfront. So hopefully that will help us with some of
Not the water, the sewer.
the sewer.
Sewer's got water there, rainwater.
So hopefully that will help with that.
Yeah, because it sounds like we're purchasing water when it's actually water's filtrating into the sewer system and we're being billed for the water coming back.
Exactly.
So it's not the water being purchased, it's the water coming back from
Somewhere.
sewer.
We
And
gotta
the sewer,
figure
Yeah.
the sewer system's old too, we're getting water infiltration through the pipes themselves. So that's something we have to talk about in the near future, having it cambered, see where the breaks and the lines are, where we're getting our more extra water. I mean, it's all gonna take time, and the sewer system is extremely expensive to work on. It's probably gonna be something that do in, one piece at a time, see how bad it is and see how much money it's gonna take. And they've got a system out where they put a balloon in it and expand it, and it adheres to the sewers. They go in and cut the new drains in. It's cheaper that way than replacing the whole sewer, but it's still very expensive.
So that's all a work in progress that we're getting ready to address. Sandy and I will be attending the broadband conference for the state in Lansing. Hopefully, we're still diligently working on trying to get broadband for all the residents. We attend the meetings every month. It's just a work in progress, and I sit on the Supervisors Association for St. Clair County, and just about, I'd say 3/4 of the supervisors in St. Clair County have the same problem of all their residents not being able to get internet. So we're diligently working on that, but we can only go as fast as everybody else. Food drive is October 23rd from noon till whenever food runs out at the pavilion. Anybody that'd like to volunteer, just give me a call and we'd be happy to have you. I also have a scrap tire grant that came up. If anybody has scrap tires or knows of somebody that has a lot of scrap tires that they're in need to get rid of, the DEQ has a grant for it. So I'll be happy to look at that. Scrap tire cleanup grant funding applications. And that expires, we have to get in by October 25th, so if anybody knows of anybody that needs help with that, I'd be happy to help them.
Just in reference to that, I talked to Ontario. They actually said that we can have another cleanup, and this one would deal exclusively with tires. And it would be free.
Okay, why don't you look into that and let us know what that entails and if there's a cost and all that jazz, because, it might be easier for some of the residents.
With regard to the scrap tire grant, would that be like a humongous amount or like 10 or less?
Well, actually, the DEQ goes to the property and they clean it up.
Oh,
We don't go, it says property owners with abandoned scrap tires or scrap tires are eligible. The DEQ will give priority funding
so
to
it's like it's a
activities.
lot of tires, not 2 or
Right.
3.
And basically, they're doing it for, like, January 1st, 1991, and before they'll get priority. So there's, I don't know, there's people that have lived here a lot longer than I have. If you know of people that might have buried them in the past because they didn't know and they're worried about it,
Okay.
something like that, we can help them to clean up their property. I'll be happy to help them. So I just thought I'd bring that up. And then I'm beginning to work on the budget for next year, as well as creating a summary of where our budget has been, because we're actually in our 6th month of our budget, even though we've been on the board for a year. So that's coming up to see where we're at so far, to let the residents know where we're at so far, to make some amendments to some of our line items. I'll be attending a lot of classes. I've been attending a lot of classes now that I'm getting some of the contracts over with, and that I'm able to focus on the budget and make sure that it's more accurate, and to help me to create a better budget and they have a better knowledge of what I'm doing so that I can help improve the budget for the township. I'll be setting up a vision session with the board members for next month, and it'll be during next month's board meeting, in which I'm asking that each of the board members to have a chance to discuss what they believe is a priority for the township, what we can do for the township, for, I don't want to say better place to live, but, you know, what we see and how we would like to see the township progress in the next 10 years, what the board members think is a priority, and kind of put our heads together why I'm working on the budget. So if you guys could come back with something next month, we'll be discussing it at the meeting. And that's all I got. Oh, and then I was gonna hold a town hall meeting, thank you, on Wednesday, November 6th. I don't know if we can have it here, who knows if we have enough room, but so far tentatively it'll be here. I will publish it in the Voice, try to get it in a timely fashion on the website, and as well as posting it on the township hall. And I'm done with
Do
that.
you have a time? It was November 6th, but do you have a time? Or-
I think 7:30 works, because that's what we're used to the board meeting. Public comments, anybody that wishes to address the board may do so at this time in regards to anything.
Oh, where do you?
Do you want to go?
Caravan.
Can you state,
Got it at 87.
can you state your name?
What was the temperature? What was the temperature on it?
Like that?
68.
No, he said 87.
Come on. I had to put my glasses on. Sorry. Andrew Garshon on AJ Saltax on the road here, Broadridge. And what I want to address is the house next door to the restaurant with the light. I've addressed it several times over the years. I wrote letters, talked to the building inspector. Last administration, I believe, voted on it to tear it down. Went through all the paperwork and everything, but we can't find the file. Is that what it is? Kelly?
I can't find, John, do you know about the house next door to Andy's? Have you heard anything, the paperwork about them tearing it down or anything?
No.
I did find a letter with regards to them having to do the grass and that, but I'm still looking. And I did believe we had a talk with Tom Raymond,
Yeah.
and he said, he had mentioned
So the file's in the
about
desk.
it, right? So we're looking for that to see what process, and I'm sending it to you, John, to see if there, because now we have a new,
Who's John there?
John McNamee is our attorney.
Oh, sorry, I've never met him. I just got a letter from you, but I've never met him.
So, we'll be addressing that, and then we have the new, what do they call it? Dangerous building ordinance.
Well, we've already
To
been through
show,
this.
to show him, I think and to have John address that, and then
How about if you get the feel for it, they take a walk around the house, like I just did.
I'm game.
And,
If you
know,
guys, do you want them to call you to
go with
set
the
up an
rats,
appointment?
today, the beasts, a lot, this 15 years.
I've talked to you several times about this.
Yeah. And nobody's.
I agree completely, but no
I just
problem.
kind of brought it up lately because I've got a couple letters from the attorney about, I don't know what, I don't know, just to shut more of my business down, but it's cost me a lot of money over the years.
Yep.
That house has been abandoned 8 years. It's full of black mold. The grass is this tall, even from the river, all the way around. I'm surprised the neighbor, Brandon next door, I'm sure he's complained, but I think there's a hidden motive there. I'm not gonna bring it up now because I want to see how this moves forward. But that house is dangerous. And none of you people would want to live next door to that, and there's no way you could run your business next door to that. I'm just a little company down here, paying all those tax, I paid $500,000 in property taxes since I've been here. And what do I get?
Do you want?
Nothing in return. I bought that house down, it was already bidded on, I believe TK bid on it. Simons, there was a bid, somebody got it. And what the deal was, nobody wants to pay for it. They said, well, put it on his tax roll. And they said, no, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, so I wanna know who voted that down too. You know, I wanna hold them personally
You can
responsible.
FOIA that meeting
There's,
to see.
I don't know what's so hard about agreeing to do it.
Can you bring a lawsuit against the property owner?
Why should I have to?
Well, I don't know, I'm just,
No, I don't know, I don't wanna go, I've been through all the letters, sent the letters, the man's dead now.
who owns the property?
Henry Clay's his daughter owns it, lives down in Naples, Florida, and they should give a shit. Margaret, who was the gal was here, Simons tried to contact them, they didn't do anything. They tried, it wasn't that they didn't, every time they came in, they gave me numbers, I called, sent registered letters. But I mean, just try to imagine, not only living next door to it, trying to sell food and drinks.
Madam,
15 years.
Did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to comment to kind of fill in some blanks, and you just 100% support, because I mean, I'm a very big fighter of blight. It lowers the property values of everyone in the township.
Hasn't lowered mine.
No, I mean, you just don't know. Wait, hold on a second. For those of you,
9,300. Hasn't lowered. It should be 1,000. It costs me at least 60 to 100 grand a year in loss.
well, it's not so much that your property value hasn't been lowered, as it is the assessed property value. There's a big difference. They
Did you
should
have anything
be.
else?
I can't even sell the place because the people, every time I show it, the guy goes, what the heck? I gotta get food away to get people out there. This is because it's that bad either. You know.
Okay, I gotta move it on, but
I was just wondering-
we can have, I'll give the board members your phone number so that they
Sure.
can come over and
I'm
look
there
at
every
it
morning.
and address it. and-
Did you guys go out and take a walk around?
I had some advice for him. One of the things that I made sure to do door to door, and I checked this out after someone made a comment last meeting, was I told everyone about the process for the assessed tax value, and there is. And I can tell you the Gibson family is just one example. Nancy Gibson and Mr. Larry Gibson. They came here and they said, no, sorry, we're not going to lower your assessed taxable value. They took it to the state, they got their property value lowered.
You can
So-
do that.
So I recommend you do that.
I want to do all that. I want the house down and move forward. Okay, that's all I want. I want to take the, I'll pay for it and you guys pay me back. I got a guy tomorrow that'll tear it down. Everyone says burn it down. You burn. Even the border patrol, I ask the man, every morning when I'm up there doing the sign, I said, what are you sitting here for every morning? There's no, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the play. He goes, it's that building right there. That's where they come in at night because of the leaks.
Oh,
And I said, well, I asked him, well, why don't you guys buy it and we can clean it out? And I'm not gonna tell you what he said because I don't want him following me home. Well, you know what he said? I wouldn't have nothing else to do there.
I
No, it's not, I mean, it's,
I'm willing to go look at it. Everybody else?
I'll gladly go. I know exactly what you're
Thank
talking
you.
about.
Anybody else? Does anybody else want to talk about public comment? Thank you, Ian.
all right, well, I've got other people that wanna say stuff.
Sure.
Stan, or,
What's that?
we got customers here that wanna complain
If
about.
they want it, they can have
Does
theirs.
it matter
That's what-
or not?
They're only
No,
allowed 3
everybody
minutes.
gets their turn. You
Okay,
have 15
well, I take all of it, how about I get a couple extra because I haven't said anything in years. But I don't want to waste anyone's time. I just want to let you know, it costs me and my family a lot of money, all right? That's all. I don't want anything for free. I just want, I think everybody should walk around that house in the next week. That'd be nice? Thank you for
Thank you.
listening.
Joe?
Madam Supervisor, serve this, my name is Joe Rochon, R-O-C-H-O-N. I have never been so humiliated in my entire life than tonight. There was a camera in front of me, I moved my chair, go around it. He called me childish behavior. I would like a written apology and a public apology from that trustee. For next meeting. Thank you.
Sir, I would like a public apology from you then in that regard.
Leah, you'll to Justin.
Okay, I'll make sure. I would like a public apology that is written from this fella because 2 meetings
I can't
ago,
force him, he's not on the board.
I'll just let him know since I'm probably not gonna be meeting up with him for coffee. That he was in my face like a little child doing this in front of me and it was really immature. So, roll it, sir. Thank you.
You're looking for apologies.
No.
The only thing, I called him something, but
asking what he called my grandkids and my family. It was way worse. I talked to a lawyer, and they said I had a lot better chance of suing him than he has of suing me. So I'd like a written apology from him too.
Was it during a board meeting?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I'm curious, what are you referring to?
Please, I'm not going to have you two address each other, just address me. If it was during a board meeting.
During the meeting.
Thank you.
What'd you say first, though?
Also, I'd like to say thank
What'd you say
to
first?
Jean and Mr. Daniels for
I've been recording you, sweetie.
cutting down the tree limbs around the park. Anybody else?
Yes.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I got your manly chin on it.
Everybody's done?
Jan Stevenson, that's the address.
You can just say that.
The house, the question that's AJ's, and it's owned, is it actually owned by these people? Somebody owns it? Aren't the rules in Cottrellville that these have to be kept up, and are they being fined, or should they be fined?
There are, yes, I was helping him look through the dangerous building ordinance, which was just passed, I believe, Pat Orton's not here, she's good at this. I believe it's just passed last year. Do you know when it was passed? So we're looking through that to see what we can do to help, and there's a procedure thing, but I just found that, so, and I had went to Andy to show him that.
Because that would motivate them as
Oh, I agree.
owners, if they're going to be fined $1,000 a month.
I don't want abandoned houses up on Cottrellville.
No.
So hopefully we can look at it and work with that, and he was in my office. We are. So there's rules that, guys.
There are rules that you have to get on your property, not, this is how much it's going to cost you.
Right, exactly.
Right, the cost of taxpayers cost you.
I agree with you. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to board comments. Go ahead, Mike.
Actually, I was hoping to, the thing I was going to just say is, in
Do you want
response,
to do your 3 minutes of public and go up to the podium and then do 3 minutes of board? Is that what you're saying?
well, then let's revert back to public comment.
That's what I'm saying. Is that
Okay, I'm going to speak for
Then
public
can you go up to the podium, please? And because then you're a resident, you're not a trustee.
I'll just document that my public comments were.
Then I'm gonna move it on to board comments.
Okay, it's not the policy, but please just document the minutes that I was violated. All right.
I didn't violate you.
Board of public comments. Or, excuse me, board comments.
So you're declining to do your public comments because you're refusing to go to the podium.
You cannot make up your mind. Last month I was allowed to make them here, in June I was required. There's no, it says nothing in the policy, so just document it. And we'll move on.
I didn't read the policy.
I know you haven't read it.
How you read it? Okay, moving on to board member comments. Lori, got anything?
No, just remind me to get Michael to sign that.
Policy. What policy is that?
The one that I keep forgetting to get him to sign.
Here, I'll hand it to him.
I'll do that one after the meeting. Here, I'll take it for now.
This one, here you go. Can you sign that? That's our township. That's the one that you claimed
I
that
can
you
give
were
everybody a
interested
copy
in.
of it.
Do you have any comments?
No, I think that the
Well,
audit went
It's
well.
Ken's talking right now for this.
And I just wanted to make sure that Dave and Jean got recognition for doing their work in the park. And other than that, I think that everything's trying to move along. I don't know if this house, I believe, is going to be a situation, but I mean, are they behind on their taxes? Obviously, we must know how to contact them if they're not. So we can move forward on that.
Oh, are you done?
Yes.
So we just wanted to give you an update on the website. We're about 80% done. So it should be done in about a week. Maybe 2, and then we're going to work on getting the board online.
The
Meetings.
meetings
Yeah.
and hopefully the minutes and the agendas and.
So I've been working with them and going really well.
Did you have anything?
That's excellent news.
That's really, that's really.
The,
Michael, did you want to do your comments now?
yes, the, In none of the supervisors' reports was it ever thanked about the people that participated in the summer cleanup. I was very proud that I was able to have the first summer cleanup in many years in Cottrellville Township.
I do believe I thanked Tony for that, didn't I? Wasn't it Michael and Tony that volunteered?
Nope, there was 5 people there.
Oh, how can I thank him if I don't know who they are? You
The,
being that you were in
This
charge
is
of it.
Michael's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
the people that I'd like to thank are Mr. Tony Spataford, the chairperson of the Parks and Recreation Committee, Sue, and was a young man there named Chris Baker. He helped out. I was very pleased with him. He was a hard worker. My mother, Caroline, and I was there as well. I was very pleased with the turnout. I think it's
How many people showed up? Oh, I'm sorry, I think we're in discussion.
I wasn't keeping a tally of the number of people, but there were many people who went and they came back, and those 2 industrial-sized garbage bins were very filled. There was everything from large mattresses to other large pieces of furniture. One man even said he took out his whole barn. So, I think that's a tradition we need to keep up. Also, I'm very pleased with the website. I have to say, as many of you noticed, I'm often outvoted 4-1. On April 17th, I made the motion, which is a standard procedure, to rebid for the policy, because only 1 bid came in. And once that bid was in, I said, let's make a rebid until 3 bids come in. That was not seconded. So what ended up happening last month was that one company ended up being a disappointment, and it cost the township $600. So if we would have accepted the 3 bids from the beginning, we wouldn't have had to go through all that. I am very pleased, though, that Sandra was able to get this company in virtually 1 month to be 80% complete. I think that's where I'll probably leave it. I'm very pleased. We had a nice meeting compared to last month, so I think we should try to keep the tradition going. With the exception of the start. That's probably one thing I should document as well. In the future, please make sure that the chairs in the southwest corner are not there. They never were until tonight, and it caused...
When we walked in. There was not one first, and third was there.
It's supposed to be cleared out for this, though.
Well, I'm just saying those two rows never are there. Those 2 rows never are there, and it's important that they aren't there, so that if people want to record. I had one person tell me, go to the southwest corner right next to the window, which means that, there was essentially only room for 1 person to record. And obviously, since that policy makes it so there's, so that we have to have the room, we got to allow everyone the opportunity to record. So I'll leave it at that. But I'm very pleased with the meeting tonight. So I thank everyone for attending, and I'll leave it at that.
Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:25 p.m.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.